The alien princess chose her mate, the youngest human warrior. Ships of countless shapes and sizes moved silently, gliding past planets and asteroid fields, each carrying the hopes, fears, and ambitions of its people. Among them, the human fleet appeared as newcomers, shining not with grandeur but with determination, a quiet strength that many of the older galactic civilizations had underestimated. Kai, the youngest human warrior ever commissioned in the United Earth Fleet, stood on the bridge of the Resolute, his eyes scanning the unfamiliar constellations. He was barely 17, with a frame that suggested youth rather than experience, yet there was a fire in his gaze, a determination that no alien or human could easily ignore. His short brown hair fluttered slightly with the artificial wind of the bridge's ventilation, and his uniform, crisp and neatly pressed, contrasted with the seasoned veterans who surrounded him. "Captain Kai," a voice called, drawing him from his thoughts. Commander Laura, a stern woman in her 40s with silver streaks in her hair, stood behind him. "We are approaching Lyrathi space. Sensors are detecting an orbital fleet. This is your first encounter with an alien civilization beyond the core systems. Are you ready?" Kai took a deep breath, feeling a mixture of nervousness and excitement. "Yes, ma'am," he said, his voice steady. "I've trained for this. Let's make sure humanity shows what we're capable of." Laura studied him for a moment, her eyes softening. "Don't let your age make you doubt yourself. Sometimes courage matters more than experience. Remember that." The human fleet emerged from the shadow of a large asteroid belt, revealing the Lyrathi homeworld, Illyrian. It was a breathtaking sight. Tall crystal spires reflected the light of its twin suns, casting prismatic colors across the clouds. Rivers of luminescent energy flowed through the city, powering transportation and communication in ways humans had only begun to imagine. The Lyrathi themselves were tall, graceful beings with skin that shimmered faintly in the sunlight, eyes deep and expressive, and hair that seemed to float as if underwater. Kai couldn't help but marvel. He had read about alien civilizations in textbooks, watched simulations, but seeing Illyrian in person was something else entirely. His heart raced. This was the moment humanity stepped out of its corner of the galaxy to meet others on equal footing, or so they hoped. A soft chime interrupted his thoughts. The communications console lit up with a formal greeting from the Lyrathi Council. The holographic projection of a woman appeared in the center of the room. She had silver-blue hair cascading over her shoulders, and her eyes glowed with a gentle, otherworldly light. "I am Princess Elira of the Lyrathi," she said, her voice melodic and calm, yet carrying authority. "Your arrival has been noted. Humans are young and untested. Many question your readiness to enter galactic diplomacy, yet here you are. I hope your actions will speak louder than rumors." Kai straightened. "Princess Elira, I am Kai of the United Earth Fleet. We come seeking friendship and alliance to share knowledge and to learn from your people." The princess studied him, her luminous eyes scanning every detail as if she could see his heart. "You speak boldly for someone so young," she said. There was a faint smile at the corner of her lips. "Very well, you shall be observed. Let us see if humanity's courage matches its words." The fleet was directed to orbit above Illyrian, where massive landing platforms awaited. Kai's ship, the Resolute, was chosen to lead the initial landing party. As the airlock hissed open, he felt the pull of excitement and uncertainty. The gravity of Illyrian was lighter than Earth's, and he adjusted quickly, hopping lightly onto the platform. Around him, alien soldiers moved with fluid precision, their long limbs and sharp eyes betraying centuries of disciplined training. "This is it, Kai," Laura said, placing a hand on his shoulder. "Remember, you represent all of humanity. Don't let fear control you. Be yourself and trust what you know." Kai nodded, swallowing the lump in his throat. He had trained for combat, for exploration, for survival, but none of that compared to this moment. The moment of first contact, where the future of humanity in the galaxy could be shaped by a single handshake, a single decision, a single act of courage. The humans were escorted to the Great Hall of Illyrian, a cathedral-like structure of shimmering crystal and floating lights. The hall was vast, with ceilings that seemed to stretch into infinity. On platforms high above, the council members observed, and on the main floor, Princess Elira awaited. Kai felt her gaze before he saw her fully. There was something magnetic about her presence, an aura that drew the eyes of every being in the hall. And then, as if by instinct, he met her eyes. For a heartbeat, the world narrowed and he felt a strange connection, a spark of recognition that neither fully understood. Elira stepped forward. "Humans are known for their resilience," she said, her voice calm yet commanding. "Tell me, young warrior, what makes you worthy of this encounter? What makes your kind stand out among the stars?" Kai took a steadying breath. "Princess Elira, humanity has survived challenges that would have ended many civilizations. We adapt, we endure, and we find solutions when others see only obstacles. We may be young, but we have courage, ingenuity, and the will to grow. That is why we are here, to learn, to share, and to prove ourselves worthy of friendship in the galaxy." There was a pause. Elira tilted her head slightly, considering him. Around the hall, whispers rippled through the council members and attending dignitaries. It was rare for a human to speak with such confidence in front of alien royalty, especially someone so young. "Interesting," Elira said at last. "Courage and wit are admirable qualities, but words are easy. Actions speak louder than promises. You will have your chance to prove yourself in time. For now, you shall dine with us and learn our customs. Observing is the first step toward understanding." Kai allowed himself a small sigh of relief. The human delegation was led to a separate platform where an elaborate banquet awaited. Alien dishes hovered in midair, glowing faintly, while the aromas were unlike anything humans had known. Kai cautiously sampled a luminescent fruit that pulsed softly in his hand. The taste was sweet and strange, filling his senses with energy. As they ate, he observed the Lyrathi closely. Their gestures, the way they communicated with subtle movements of the hands, the soft hum of psychic energy in the air. Every detail mattered. Humans were learning fast, and Kai was determined to pick up every nuance. Later, as the delegation retired to their quarters, Kai found himself gazing out over the city of Illyrian. The twin suns were setting, painting the crystalline structures in shades of pink and gold. It was beautiful, almost unreal. "Beautiful, isn't it?" a voice said behind him. Kai turned to see Elira standing silently, her eyes reflecting the sunset. "I wanted to speak with you alone." Kai nodded, a little unsure. "Your Highness," Elira smiled faintly. "I have observed your people for some time, Kai. You are different from what I expected. Most humans seem brash, loud, or unprepared, but you carry a calm determination. You see, even in your youth, you think carefully and act with purpose." Kai felt his cheeks warm. I do my best. I want to make my people proud, and I want to show that humans can stand among the stars." "Perhaps you will," Elira said softly. "Or perhaps the stars will challenge you in ways you cannot yet imagine, but that is the path of growth, and you seem ready to take it." Kai stared at her, wondering what she meant. Her gaze held a mix of curiosity, challenge, and something else he couldn't name, something like hope. As night fell over Illyrian, the human delegation slept fitfully, dreaming of the challenges ahead. Kai lay awake, staring at the alien sky, feeling both small and significant. The galaxy was vast, and humanity had only just stepped onto the stage. Somewhere out there, Princess Elira was watching, testing, and perhaps believing. In that quiet moment, Kai made a silent vow, to prove that humans were more than just survivors, more than just wanderers in the stars. They were thinkers, doers, and warriors of courage. And maybe, just maybe, he could show Elira that even the youngest human warrior could stand proudly in the galaxy, and perhaps earn a place beside the mysterious, luminous princess himself. The adventure was only beginning. The morning sun rose over Illyrian, casting a soft glow across the crystalline towers and floating bridges of the Lyrathi capital. Kai stood on a platform overlooking the city, adjusting the strap of his gear. Today marked the beginning of a series of trials that would determine whether he, or any human, was worthy of earning the respect of Princess Elira and her people. The Lyrathi Council had made it clear. Words could impress only so far. True respect came from action. 3 trials awaited him: strength of spirit, clarity of mind, and bravery in heart. Each test was designed to challenge not just the body, but the mind, heart, and courage of anyone who dared attempt them. Kai's heart raced, but he straightened his shoulders. He was young, yes, but he carried with him the determination and ingenuity of all humanity. He would show them that humans were capable of far more than they imagined. A soft hum signaled the arrival of Princess Elira. She approached silently, her silver-blue hair glinting in the sunlight, eyes calm yet penetrating. "Kai," she said, her voice soft yet clear, "these trials are ancient. Many who try fail, even among my own people. You must remember that your strength is not measured by force alone. I understand, Princess, Kai replied, bowing respectfully. I will do my best. Your best may be enough, Elira said with a faint smile. We shall see. Trial 1, Strength of Spirit. The first trial took place in a massive chamber beneath Illyrian's surface, its walls glowing faintly with embedded crystals that pulsed in rhythm with some unseen energy. In the center of the room stood a large, wounded creature. Its form was unlike anything Kai had ever seen: 4 legs, a long tail, and eyes that glowed with an intelligent light. The creature hissed softly, clearly in pain, its scales shimmering in a dull gray. This is the trial of spirit, Elira explained. Many warriors approach this trial with weapons, trying to dominate or control. The challenge is not to fight, but to help. Kai swallowed hard. Humans had trained to fight, to react with strength, not always patience. He stepped closer slowly, observing the creature's movements. It flinched, hissing again, but Kai noticed something. The creature's fear was stronger than its pain. Easy, I'm not here to hurt you, Kai said softly, lowering his hands. I want to help. He carefully inspected the creature and saw a large shard of crystal embedded in its leg. Using a small tool from his pack, he gently pried it free. The creature growled in protest but did not strike. Instead, it slowly lowered itself, allowing Kai to touch it. Elira watched silently, her expression unreadable. As Kai treated the wound with a simple healing gel from his pack, the creature's glow returned, brighter and steadier. Finally, it stepped back and nuzzled his shoulder gently, an acknowledgement of trust. The human demonstrates compassion, Elira announced. Strength is not only in the arm, but in the heart. The first trial is passed. Kai let out a quiet breath of relief. 1 trial down, 2 more to go, but he knew the next would test his mind, not just his empathy. Trial 2, Clarity of Mind. The second trial took place in a high chamber filled with strange, floating symbols. They moved and shifted, forming patterns that seemed to change every second. A soft voice filled the room. Arrange the symbols to reflect the harmony of the universe. Only clarity will guide you. Kai frowned, studying the symbols. They were alien in every sense, but he noticed a faint rhythm in their movement. He began to experiment, moving 1 symbol at a time, observing how each affected the others. His mind raced, recalling patterns from mathematics, puzzles, and logic exercises humans had long practiced. Hours seemed to pass, or perhaps only minutes, before he found the pattern that aligned perfectly. The symbols glowed brightly, floating into a radiant lattice above him. The room itself seemed to sigh, as if satisfied. You have solved the puzzle in a way unexpected by Lyrathi standards, Elira said, appearing beside him. Your mind sees possibilities others do not. This is the gift of your kind, ingenuity. The second trial is passed. Kai smiled, feeling a surge of pride. He was proving that humans were not just brave, they were clever. The final trial, however, was said to be the most dangerous. It would test his heart in ways no physical or mental challenge could. Trial 3, Bravery and Heart. The third trial began outside Illyrian, on the floating cliffs overlooking the sparkling rivers of energy below. The challenge was simple in description, but impossible in execution. Kai would face a simulated threat to a Lyrathi colony and had to protect the inhabitants using only his judgment, courage, and quick thinking. No weapons were allowed. As the simulation began, holographic images of a storm approaching the colony appeared. The rivers of energy surged, threatening to flood the city, and the residents, small luminous creatures called Sylvani, were in danger. Kai's heart pounded. He had no instructions, no guidance, only his wits. Observing the energy flows, he noticed that certain crystals could redirect the currents safely. Using ropes and pulleys, he guided the Sylvani to safety, improvising barriers and channels as the storm raged. Elira watched silently from above, her arms crossed. Every decision Kai made was precise, careful, and fearless. Even when a surge threatened to sweep him off the cliff, he held on, steadying himself and continuing his work. Finally, the storm dissipated. The Sylvani were safe, and the colony remained intact. The test had been completed, not by strength, not by speed, but by courage, heart, and human creativity. You have done what few could even imagine, Elira said, descending to the cliffside. You have proven that your heart, young human, is brave enough to face challenges without fear. The final trial is passed. Kai wiped sweat from his brow, chest heaving. I didn't know if I could, he admitted. You could, Elira said softly, because you are human. You adapt, you endure, and you rise when others falter. That is why I watch your kind with interest. Many dismiss humanity as inexperienced, but you prove otherwise. Recognition and respect word of Kai's trials spread quickly through the Lyrathi capital. Aliens who had doubted the humans now whispered among themselves, nodding with admiration. Even seasoned Lyrathi warriors acknowledged his courage, his mind, and his spirit. Kai felt a strange mixture of exhaustion and elation. He had faced challenges no human had ever faced, and he had succeeded. More importantly, he had earned respect, not through force or arrogance, but through determination, ingenuity, and heart. Elira approached him again as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the crystal landscape. "You have done well, Kai," she said, her luminous eyes studying him carefully. "But this is only the beginning. The galaxy is larger, more dangerous, and more mysterious than any trial we can give you here. You must be prepared to face it, and I believe you are." Kai felt a spark of pride, but also a hint of nervous anticipation. He had proven himself to the Lyrathi, yet he knew that the real challenges, those that would test his courage, his intellect, and his heart, were still ahead. "Thank you, Princess Elira," he said, bowing slightly. "I will not let this opportunity go to waste. Humanity has much to offer, and I intend to show it." Elira smiled faintly, a mixture of amusement and admiration. "We shall see, Kai. The galaxy is vast, and there are many trials yet to come. But for now, you have earned your place among my people's respect." That is no small achievement. As Kai gazed out over Illyrian that night, he realized that the trials had changed him. He was no longer just a young human warrior. He was someone who had faced alien tests and emerged stronger, someone who had begun to bridge the gap between humanity and the wider galaxy. And somewhere in the depths of his mind, he felt a quiet excitement. These trials were only the first step. The universe held mysteries, adventures, and challenges that awaited him, and he was ready. For the first time, Kai truly believed that humans could stand shoulder to shoulder with the greatest civilizations in the galaxy, and perhaps, in time, inspire them with their courage, ingenuity, and heart. The stars above Illyrian shone brightly that night, reflecting the limitless potential of a young human warrior who had just begun to make his mark on the galaxy. The morning over Illyrian was quiet, almost deceptively calm. The twin suns rose in brilliant orange and gold, reflecting off the crystal towers of the capital. From above, the city looked like a jewel floating in space. Yet beneath the beauty, tension hummed like an electric current. Kai walked across the bridge of the Resolute, feeling the weight of responsibility pressing on him. The Lyrathi Council had summoned him and the human delegation for an urgent meeting. Reports had come in that the Veilborn, a mysterious alien coalition feared for their unmatched power, were moving through nearby systems. Their ships were large, sleek, and intimidating, built for speed, precision, and conquest. Commander Laura, standing beside him, spoke in a low voice. "Kai, this is serious. The Lyrathi are skilled, but they've never faced an enemy like the Veilborn in full strength. They might underestimate your role here, but I don't. Your ideas could save lives." Kai nodded. "We can't just fight them the way they expect. We have to be smart. We have to think differently." The council meeting the council hall was immense, filled with high-ranking Lyrathi officials, shimmering in their ceremonial robes. Princess Elira stood at the front, her eyes calm yet alert. Kai could see the worry in the faces of many council members. "The Veilborn are approaching," Elira said. "Their fleet is larger and more advanced than anything we have faced. Many recommend evacuation of critical settlements, but I cannot simply abandon my people. We must fight. Humans, your arrival is timely. Your methods may give us an advantage." A murmur rippled through the hall. Aliens rarely praised humans and rarely asked for their advice. Kai took a deep breath. It was time to step forward. "Princess Elira, council members," he began, keeping his voice steady, "the Veilborn expect us to fight like the Lyrathi always do, rigid formations, direct assault. But humans see problems differently. We look for patterns, weaknesses, and unexpected solutions. I believe we can defend the colonies, not just survive, but turn the battle in our favor, if we combine Lyrathi power with human ingenuity." Some council members shook their heads. "A human has only recently arrived," one said. "You cannot understand the complexity of our defense networks." Kai's eyes did not waver. "I may be young, but humans have survived challenges that would have ended stronger civilizations. We adapt, improvise, and act when others hesitate. Let me show you a plan." Elira's gaze softened. She stepped forward. Kai, present your ideas. The safety of my people may depend on them. The human Lyrathi strategy. Kai outlined a plan that combined human unpredictability with Lyrathi technology. He proposed mobile defense units that could move faster than the Veilborn anticipated, energy barriers to redirect attacks, and coordinated signals that could confuse enemy targeting systems. He also suggested small, targeted teams to strike at supply lines, slowing the Veilborn advance without risking full-scale confrontation. Every move relied on intelligence, observation, and clever improvisation, qualities humans excelled at. Some Lyrathi officers frowned. "These methods are unconventional," one said. Kai smiled faintly. "Conventional thinking can be a trap. The Veilborn expect tradition. We will give them something they cannot predict. That is our advantage." Elira nodded. "Very well, we will follow your plan. Kai, you will lead a combined human Lyrathi strike team to prepare defenses and train our units in your tactics. This is unprecedented, but necessary." Training the troops over the next several days, Kai worked tirelessly with Lyrathi soldiers. At first, many resisted his methods, used to centuries of disciplined procedure. But Kai's calm confidence, clear instructions, and practical examples slowly won them over. He demonstrated how to use terrain creatively, how to set traps without weapons, and how to anticipate enemy movements. Lyrathi soldiers began to see the value of flexibility, improvisation, and quick decision-making. During one training exercise, Kai stood atop a crystalline ridge while Lyrathi units moved below him in formation. Using only gestures, he coordinated their movements to redirect simulated enemy drones. The results were far better than any traditional exercise had achieved. A young Lyrathi officer, impressed, whispered to another, "Perhaps the humans are not as naive as we thought. Their ways, they are unpredictable in a good way." Kai's approach wasn't just about tactics, it was about trust. He encouraged the Lyrathi to think independently, to use their unique abilities in tandem with human ingenuity. Slowly, a mutual respect began to form. The first encounter 1 week later, scouts reported Veilborn ships entering the system. The fleet moved like a dark wave across the stars, sleek and silent, radiating power. Alarm sirens blared across Illyrian as humans and Lyrathi prepared. Kai stood at the observation deck of the Resolute, Princess Elira beside him. "Are you ready?" she asked, her calm demeanor hiding a flicker of concern. "I've trained the units. I've studied the terrain. We know their strengths and weaknesses. We can do this," Kai said, his voice steady. Elira nodded. "Your confidence is human. It is inspiring. Let us hope it carries through the battle." The Veilborn struck swiftly, attempting to overwhelm the outer colonies. Lyrathi defenses, following Kai's strategies, responded with mobility and precision. Human ingenuity played a key role. Barriers redirected energy streams, small teams disabled supply lines, and scouts fed crucial information back to the fleet. Kai led a team through a risky maneuver, guiding units along a narrow canyon to ambush a Veilborn detachment. Using a combination of timing, positioning, and clever misdirection, they neutralized the enemy without engaging in a traditional battle. The Lyrathi soldiers, initially skeptical, watched in awe. Kai's tactics were unusual but effective, proving that human adaptability could overcome even the most intimidating enemies. Bonding with Elira amid the chaos of preparation and small skirmishes, Kai and Princess Elira spent more time together. She observed him not just as a warrior, but as a human being, young, brave, and surprisingly wise. One evening, after a long day of planning and drills, they walked along a floating bridge overlooking the city. The stars shimmered above them, and the city below glowed softly. "You think quickly, Kai," Elira said. "Your methods are unlike anything I've seen. Even our veterans are struggling to adapt, and yet you make it seem natural." Kai smiled faintly. "We humans survive by thinking differently. We learn, improvise, and act. We've had to adapt to challenges for generations. That's how we grew." Elira studied him quietly. "You are not like other humans I have heard of. You are remarkable." Kai felt a warmth in his chest. He realized that Elira's interest was genuine, not just as a leader observing a warrior, but as someone recognizing human potential in a way few others did. A glimpse of the Veilborn one night, scouts returned with alarming news. A Veilborn strike team had approached Illyrian undetected, testing the city's outer defenses. Kai examined the reports. Their ships were faster than expected, and their formations were unpredictable. "This is only a test," he said quietly to Elira. "They are probing our defenses. If we stay calm, observe carefully, and act with strategy, we can turn this to our advantage." Elira nodded, her expression thoughtful. "Your calmness is unusual for a human your age. It is comforting." Kai smiled faintly. "I've learned that fear doesn't solve problems. Planning, observation, and courage do." The next day, Kai worked tirelessly with Lyrathi engineers to improve their sensor networks, coordinating teams to respond quickly to any threat. Every action was designed to exploit the Veilborn's expectations, demonstrating that humans could stand not just as allies, but as innovators in galactic strategy. A growing reputation by the end of the week, news of Kai's strategies spread throughout the Lyrathi military. Soldiers who had doubted humans now spoke of the young warrior with respect. Commanders sought his advice, and even skeptics acknowledged that humans brought a unique strength to the galaxy. Princess Elira observed all this quietly, her respect for Kai growing. "Perhaps humanity is not just a curiosity," she whispered to herself. "Perhaps they are a force to be reckoned with." Kai, for his part, remained focused. He knew the real battle had not yet come. The Veilborn were patient predators. They tested first, then struck decisively. But Kai had faith in his human instincts, in his ability to adapt, and in the partnership forming between humans and Lyrathi. The shadow of war loomed larger each day, but Kai felt ready. Humanity had already proven that courage, ingenuity, and heart could match even the most advanced alien civilizations. And as the stars above Illyrian glittered like distant flames, Kai knew that the galaxy had only begun to witness the potential of the youngest human warrior. The next battle would be harder, more dangerous, but Kai had already shown that humans could turn the tide when all seemed lost. The sky over Illyrian darkened with the approach of the Veilborn fleet. Their ships moved like shadows, sleek and menacing, blotting out the twin suns as they advanced toward the Lyrathi homeworld. Alarm signals echoed through the city, and citizens hurried to secure themselves. Yet amidst the panic, a sense of calm determination lingered among the soldiers trained by Kai. Kai stood on the bridge of the Resolute, observing the enemy formation. He had spent weeks preparing for this moment, combining human ingenuity with Lyrathi technology. Every strategy, every contingency, every tactic had been planned, but nothing could fully replace courage in the heat of battle. Princess Elira appeared beside him, her eyes scanning the enemy fleet. "Kai, the Veilborn are stronger than we expected," she said, her voice steady despite the tension. "Are you certain your plan will work?" Kai met her gaze. "It has to. We can't just defend. We have to think ahead, use what they don't expect. If we work together, human and Lyrathi, we can win this." Elira nodded, a faint smile touching her lips. "Then let us show them the strength of unity." The first wave the Veilborn struck first. Energy blasts lit the sky as their ships advanced, targeting the outer defense towers. Lyrathi energy shields absorbed some damage, but the intensity of the attack threatened to overwhelm the city's defenses. Kai took command. "Deploy the mobile units to the canyon passes," he shouted. "Redirect the energy streams through the crystal arrays. Use the terrain, make them overextend." Lyrathi units followed his orders, moving swiftly and precisely. Humans, trained in Kai's tactics, coordinated with Lyrathi soldiers, creating a network of unexpected resistance. The Veilborn found themselves funneled into traps, their attacks scattered and inefficient. Kai led a small team along a high ridge to intercept a Veilborn strike group targeting a colony. Using energy barriers and holographic decoys, they created the illusion of a larger force, forcing the enemy to retreat temporarily. A Lyrathi commander approached him in awe. "Your strategies, they are not Lyrathi, yet they work better than ours." "How can one so young lead with such clarity?" Kai shrugged. "Humans have to adapt, it's what we do." Even Princess Elira watched, impressed. She realized that Kai's courage and ingenuity were not just tactics, they inspired others to act beyond their limits. The heart of battle. Hours passed and the battle escalated. Veilborn ships had begun a concentrated assault on Illyrian's central energy core, the city's main power source. If the core fell, the city would be plunged into chaos and the citizens would be defenseless. Kai devised a risky plan. "We need a strike team inside the enemy formation," he said to Elira. "We can't destroy their fleet directly, but we can disable their command vessel. If we succeed, the rest of the fleet will lose coordination." Elira hesitated. "It is dangerous." Even seasoned Lyrathi warriors might not survive. Kai's eyes hardened. I have to do this. If the city falls, no plan will save it. We have a chance and we must take it. The princess studied him, then nodded. Very well, I will accompany you. Together, human and Lyrathi, we will face this threat. Inside the enemy fleet, Kai and Elira led a small squad aboard nimble attack crafts, weaving through the enemy ships with precision. Energy beams streaked past them, but Kai's planning kept them just ahead of danger. He had calculated their approach using the Veilborn's predictable formations, combined with subtle human improvisation. The command vessel loomed ahead, larger and more imposing than any ship Kai had seen. Its surface shimmered with energy shields, and Veilborn scouts patrolled its perimeter. Kai whispered to Elira, "We need to distract their defenses. You create psychic disturbances to confuse them while we move in." Elira nodded, focusing her energy. A subtle wave pulsed outward, scrambling the targeting sensors of the enemy fleet. Kai and the team darted forward, weaving between ships, and finally reached the command vessel's core access point. Inside, the environment was alien and cold. Veilborn sentries moved swiftly, their armor reflecting the soft light of the ship's interior. Kai and Elira coordinated silently. Using a combination of precise timing, quick thinking, and Elira's psychic powers, they disabled the security protocols and reached the vessel's control center. The turning point, Kai accessed the ship's systems, his fingers moving over alien controls with surprising intuition. "We can shut down their shields and redirect energy back into their engines," he said. "It will overload the ship and force the fleet to retreat." Elira kept watch, her eyes glowing softly as she repelled approaching Veilborn soldiers with psychic barriers. Kai worked quickly, improvising with his human logic and creativity. Alien technology was designed to confuse intruders, but humans had a different way of seeing patterns, one the Veilborn had not anticipated. Finally, the system responded. Energy from the command vessel began feeding back into its engines, causing overload. The ship shuddered violently, sparks flying as alarms blared. "Now!" Kai shouted. Elira released a focused psychic pulse, and the vessel's energy shields collapsed. The command ship began to retreat, forcing the Veilborn fleet into disarray. From outside, the Lyrathi city watched as the enemy's formation broke apart. Smaller ships fled in confusion, their coordinated attacks shattered. Kai and Elira returned to Illyrian triumphant, their craft gliding through the now calm sky. Soldiers cheered, and the citizens looked on with amazement. Victory and respect, the battle was won, not by sheer force, but by courage, intelligence, and cooperation. Humans and Lyrathi had fought side by side, each learning from the other. Kai's leadership had proven that even the youngest human could change the outcome of a galaxy-scale conflict. In the aftermath, the Lyrathi Council convened. "Kai," Elira said, addressing him in front of the entire assembly, "you have not only proven your worth, but you have shown the galaxy that humans possess a strength unlike any other. Courage, creativity, and the will to rise when all seems lost." Applause filled the chamber. Even the skeptics among the Lyrathi had to admit the truth. Humanity, though young in interstellar terms, could be a decisive force. Kai felt a mixture of pride and humility. He had done what no one expected, but he knew the real reward was the trust and respect he had earned from allies who had once doubted him. A quiet moment later that evening, Kai and Elira walked along a bridge overlooking the city. The twin suns had set, leaving a sky full of stars. For the first time, Illyrian felt peaceful since the arrival of the Veilborn. "You were extraordinary today," Elira said softly. "I have never seen tactics like yours, nor courage like yours. You inspire even the most seasoned warriors." Kai smiled, feeling the exhaustion of the day, but also a deep sense of fulfillment. "I only did what humans have always done. We face the impossible, we adapt, and we protect what we care about." Elira studied him for a long moment. "And that is why I watch humans with interest. You are young, but you carry wisdom and courage beyond your years. Perhaps the galaxy will learn to respect your kind as much as I already do." Kai's chest warmed at her words. He realized that his actions had not only saved a city, but had begun to build a bridge between humans and Lyrathi, one based on trust, respect, and shared courage. Foreshadowing though the Veilborn had been repelled, Kai knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, filled with unknown dangers and mysterious civilizations. Humanity had proven its worth, but larger challenges awaited. As he gazed at the stars above Illyrian, he felt a quiet determination. No matter the obstacle, humans would adapt, endure, and rise. And with allies like Elira and the Lyrathi by their side, there was no limit to what they could achieve. The city of Illyrian slept under a calm, starlit sky, unaware that the young human warrior who had led them to victory was already planning for the next challenge. Kai smiled faintly. The universe was vast and unpredictable, but so was humanity, and he intended to show the galaxy exactly what humans were capable of. The city of Illyrian shone under the twin suns, reflecting the triumph of its people. The Veilborn had been repelled, their fleet scattered and in retreat. Citizens and soldiers alike moved through the streets with relief and joy. Statues and monuments of the Lyrathi heroes had never felt more meaningful, but in the hearts of many, one young human warrior stood out above all. Kai walked through the streets of Illyrian, feeling the weight of the past weeks. He had survived the trials, led soldiers into battle, and faced enemies no one thought humanity could oppose. Yet through it all, he had learned that courage alone was not enough. Respect, trust, and partnership were equally vital. Humans had proven their worth not through domination, but through ingenuity, heart, and unity. Princess Elira approached him on the bridge of the Central Council building, her silver-blue hair glinting in the sun. Her presence was calm yet commanding, drawing the attention of everyone nearby. Today was a historic day, not just for humanity, but for all who had fought alongside them. "Kai," she said softly, her eyes glowing with emotion, "you have done more than I could have imagined. You faced challenges beyond your years, led our people with courage, and showed a wisdom that is rare even among my own kind. You have proven yourself worthy in every way." Kai bowed respectfully, though a faint smile tugged at his lips. "Thank you, Princess Elira. I only did what any human would do. We protect those we care for, and we adapt to face the impossible." Elira's gaze softened. "There is more than just admiration in my heart, Kai. Among my people, a ritual allows a princess to choose her mate, the one who will stand beside her as an equal, not in dominion, but in unity. For centuries, this choice has been made carefully, with wisdom and thought. I have made my decision." Kai's heart skipped a beat. He had heard of this ancient tradition, but never had he imagined it might involve him. He remained calm, even as his mind raced with curiosity and awe. "I choose you," Elira said, her voice clear and unwavering. "Not because of your strength alone, or your skill, or even your age, but because of your courage, your heart, and the example you set for all humanity. You are young, yet you carry the wisdom of your people. You inspire not just me, but everyone around you. Will you stand beside me?" Kai felt a mixture of disbelief and pride. This was an honor beyond words, a recognition not just of himself, but of the potential of humanity. "Princess Elira," he said, bowing deeply, "it would be my greatest honor to stand beside you." The ceremony. The ceremony was held in the Grand Hall of Illyrian, the same hall where Kai had first met Elira weeks ago. Citizens and dignitaries from across the galaxy gathered to witness the historic moment. The hall was decorated with glowing crystals, soft floating lights, and banners that shimmered in the colors of both Lyrathi and human flags, a symbol of unity. Elira and Kai stood at the center, surrounded by the council and representatives of allied civilizations. The air was electric with anticipation. For the Lyrathi, the choice of a mate was not taken lightly, and for the humans, this was a moment of pride and recognition. The High Priestess of Illyrian spoke, her voice echoing through the hall. "Today we witness a union that transcends tradition, a partnership of courage, wisdom, and heart. The princess has chosen her mate, and through this choice, humans and Lyrathi shall be forever united in respect and friendship." Kai felt the weight of history pressing on him. His eyes met Elira's, and in that moment words were unnecessary. They had shared challenges, danger, and triumph. They had faced trials that tested not only their skills but their hearts, and now they would stand together as symbols of unity for all to see, a symbol of hope. As the ceremony concluded, the crowd erupted in applause. Citizens of Illyrian cheered, and humans and Lyrathi alike felt a sense of shared pride. Kai and Elira had become more than individuals. They were symbols of what could be achieved when courage, ingenuity, and heart worked together. Kai stepped forward, addressing the assembly. "Humans may be young in the galaxy, but we have learned that courage and determination can shape the future. Today is not just about me or Princess Elira. It is about humanity standing proudly among the stars, and about the bonds we create when we work together." Elira stood beside him, her eyes glowing warmly. And it is about unity. Together, humans and Lyrathi will face the challenges ahead, exploring the galaxy, protecting each other, and building a future filled with hope and understanding. The assembly cheered again, the sound echoing through the crystalline halls. In that moment, Kai realized something profound. The galaxy was vast, unpredictable, and often dangerous. But humanity had a place here, a role to play, and a potential to inspire. In the weeks that followed, humans and Lyrathi worked together more closely than ever. Trade, science, and exploration flourished. Kai trained new recruits, sharing human strategies and tactics with Lyrathi soldiers. Elira guided her people with wisdom and foresight, often consulting with Kai on decisions that would shape the future. The two of them explored Illyrian together, learning from each other's cultures and experiences. Kai taught Elira about Earth, its history, and its people, while Elira showed him the mysteries of Lyrathi science, art, and psychic abilities. Their partnership was more than symbolic. It was practical, inspiring, and full of mutual respect. Citizens of Illyrian began to look at humans differently. Where once there had been doubt or dismissal, there was now admiration and curiosity. Kai's journey, from the youngest human warrior to a leader respected by an alien civilization, became a story told in schools, training halls, and gatherings across the city. A quiet moment together. One evening, as the twin suns set over Illyrian, Kai and Elira walked along a floating bridge overlooking the city. The air was calm, filled with the soft hum of energy currents running through the crystal structures. "You have done more than anyone could expect," Elira said softly. "You faced trials, led our armies, and protected my people, and yet you remain humble, focused, and kind." Kai smiled faintly. "I only did what humans do. We face what comes our way. We protect, we adapt, and we rise to challenges. I never imagined I would earn the respect of an entire civilization, but I am grateful." Elira reached out and placed a hand on his. "You have earned far more than respect. You have proven that humanity is more than survival. They are courage, wisdom, and hope. And you, Kai, have shown the galaxy what it means to be human." Kai looked at her, feeling the weight of their shared journey. "Then let's continue together," he said. "There is a galaxy to explore, mysteries to uncover, and challenges to face. And together we can show what humans and Lyrathi can achieve." Elira nodded, a smile touching her lips. "Together, then, as partners, allies, and friends. And as symbols of what the galaxy can achieve when courage, heart, and unity guide us." A hopeful future, the city of Illyrian glimmered beneath them, alive with energy and the promise of a new era. Humans and Lyrathi were no longer strangers. They were partners. Kai, once the youngest human warrior, had become a leader, an inspiration, and a symbol of hope. Stories of his courage and ingenuity spread throughout the galaxy. Other civilizations, hearing of the human who had led Lyrathi forces and inspired a princess to choose him as her mate, began to take notice. Humanity's reputation was growing, not through conquest, but through courage, creativity, and the power to inspire others. Kai and Elira, standing together on the bridge, gazed at the stars. They knew the galaxy held countless challenges, mysteries, and adventures. But they also knew that together, with respect, courage, and unity, there was no obstacle too great. And so, the youngest human warrior and the luminous princess began a new chapter, not just as mates, but as partners in building a future where humanity could stand proudly among the stars, inspiring civilizations across the galaxy to rise above fear and doubt, and to reach for greatness. The stars above Illyrian shimmered like scattered jewels, reflecting the limitless potential of humans, the strength of alliances, and the courage of those willing to rise to any challenge. The galaxy was vast, unpredictable, and filled with possibilities, and humanity had found its place among them. Kai took a deep breath, feeling a quiet pride. He was ready for whatever came next. Together with Elira, he would face it, not alone, but with allies, friends, and a people who believed in the courage of the human spirit. The future awaited, and humanity would shine brightly.